Hey, we're moving into week 7 in our summer session 2015 in Bread and Circuses. And now it's time, if you haven't already started, to start working on your final project. And as you probably figured out, we have put together a final project that has multiple steps. So, just a quick overview. Why not? Let me back it up a bit. So, step 1 was our Explore project. You were to choose a current example of publicly supported arts or entertainment venue that helps to define the identity or culture of the city or community that supports it, right? So many of you have looked at the Keeper of the Plains, the Arch in St. Louis. Those are very clear, iconic representations of the identity of those cities, right? So very good. But some of you may have also chosen things like the Lawrence Dumont Stadium or the, oh golly, the Arkalala Festival in Arc City. Very different kinds of events or venues than monumental sculpture, and that also helps to identify those communities. You also, in that step 1 of Explore, identify 3 of the goals or the objectives for the creative spirit listed in our syllabus. You turn that in on July 6th. And again, that was worth 20% of the final grade on this final project. Step 2 was follow the money. Some of you had very easy times following the money on your project. Some of you had tougher times. Some of you found out that when you followed the money on your project that it didn't have as much community support or public taxpayer support as you thought, or it was harder to find. That's okay. The aim here is just to figure out, how does this particular venue that you found, how do they put it on? What's the money source? Where does it come from? Again, sometimes it's taxpayer dollars, and that's really what we were going for. But if you picked a venue that it's not as easy to find those taxpayer dollars, that's okay. Sometimes your venue gets property tax support. For example, I'm on the board at the Museum of World Treasures, as I've mentioned before, and they have their facility in a building owned by the city of Wichita, and they get it at a very much reduced rate of rent. So that in itself is a benefit that the community gives to that museum, because instead of the museum, you could probably rent that space for a lot more money perhaps. So you conducted research and you presented the results of that research to me. Thank you very much. So you've identified your topic, you've identified your goals, and you've done a little research on that venue. Some of you looked a little bit at the history of the venue, how it was funded, where it came from. Very good. All of that you added to your original proposal. Well, maybe some of you did. And you turned that in on July 17th. Again, another 20% of your final grade. And I hope helping you to do a little bit more work on finding something about your venue or your topic. Step 3 is coming up, and that is due August 3rd. Today's Monday when I'm recording this, a week before, so you've got 1 week out. This is going to be a 2 to 3 page typed double-spaced process paper, some 600 to 900 words, give or take. And this paper is you demonstrating that you know your topic well, and you know how it fits into the main goals of this course. So you're going to do the following. First off, what's the inspiration for your work? Why did you choose this venue? Somewhere in your process paper, address that. It might be in your introduction, that's okay. It might be in the body of your paper, that's okay. However you find the best way to present that. So why did you choose this venue? Again, maybe you thought this is the best example of the identity of Lawrence, Kansas. This is the best example of reflecting the identity of Dallas, right? So whatever it is that you find, whatever your inspiration was, put it in there. It may also be that this is someplace that you've always enjoyed with your family growing up, or that you've always enjoyed with your parents, or that you have a small community of friends who always hit the hockey games, right? And so that's what you want. You want that venue to be something that you explore. So whatever your inspiration is, put that in your paper. The analysis. This is the big bread and butter for me. You've been doing this in all of your papers, all of your reflections. You've been talking about how the evidence you're reading in your papers helps you to understand the time period, the venue, the issues associated with that particular topic. So whether you were offering an analysis of justice for the Greek city-state in Antigone, or you were looking at the culture of violence that seems to identify the Romans in the gladiator games, or maybe you were interested in how the moral character of London that the Queen was trying to control, if you will, trying to define shows up in Shakespeare. Perhaps you really enjoyed looking at the role of social classes in the American parade and how that changed. Or maybe you were very much interested in the role of communication and graffiti in New York. Whatever you did, you brought in examples to support what you were saying. Yeah? So now, here's your analysis. What are the 3 goals or the objectives of the creative spirit that you chose, and how does your venue help us to explore those goals and objectives? So you're going to discuss them. Don't just list the goals. We've already done that. But discuss them. This is your original approach to the creative spirit. Use examples from your readings. Use examples from other assignments. Maybe your out and about project is helpful. Maybe some of the images you found for Ivor Miller's graffiti project, the Creolization project, were helpful in identifying your venue, your topic. Maybe some of your colleagues put some really interesting remarks at the discussion boards. Fantastic. What I'd really like to see when you're using examples from your readings and using examples from other assignments is that you are able to use the work you've already done in this class to help support your analysis of these goals and your venue. If you're looking for an organizational structure, you can maybe offer a paragraph for each goal, provide discussion of your venue, and then maybe offer some comparatives to other topics that we have read about or we've discussed. These can be videos from class from early on. These can be, again, readings from class. Whatever you think might fit. Now, don't force it. Don't try to just make it fit, right? But do try to find examples from other times, other places that seem to support the goal that your venue is going for, that your venue also contributes to our understanding of the role of the arts and entertainment in the city. Now, I'm suggesting 1 paragraph per goal. That's just one way to organize your analysis. You may find other ways. Yeah. As you're struggling to figure out which examples from your work to use or which examples from your readings, please remember we have lots of discussion about the economic value of the arts and entertainment in our final reading week, week 6. So those discussions about the Superdome in New Orleans, the presentation, we had one Wichita Eagle article on the value that the arts and entertainment bring to a city. And we also have Brian Horrocks on his analysis of why we need public venues, public space, right? So even though you maybe didn't write on those articles, bring those in your analysis. So discuss 3 goals or objectives of the creative spirit and how your venue helps us to explore those goals. Don't just list them, you've already done that, but discuss them. Here's your original approach to the creative spirit. Use examples from your readings and your other assignments to support your analysis. You can offer, again, 1 paragraph for each goal if that's helpful. Try to do some comparative work. Finally, in your process paper, discuss the choices you've made and in how you're going to present your final project. If you recall, there is a final step to your presentation. You're going to craft a creative presentation as regards your project. And again, this can be a PowerPoint, this can be a video, this can be a traditional paper, right? So you can build on what you're doing here. It could be a photo essay, it could be a poem, it could be a drawing, it could be a sculpture. You have to get busy if it's a sculpture, right? But anyway, the idea is, how will you present this? If you were to be in a traditional face-to-face class and you had 10 minutes to present your topic and your connection to the creative spirit, how would you do it? How would it best get across to an audience of your peers who's probably not read your process paper, who's probably not read all of your Explore projects and your Follow the Money project? So presenting it to an audience that's not yet seen this. As you probably know, we have a requirement for graduation here called Scholars Day. Many people who've been in this class have taken this opportunity to think of a way to craft a short presentation that we've done in this class for Scholars Day. So please, absolutely, use that if you think that that's a good way to go for you. So just to recap on our process paper. What's your inspiration? How does your venue help us address 3 objectives for the creative spirit? And a little discussion of the choices that you've made for how you'll present your findings for the class. This is all due August 3rd. This particular step 3, of your final project is 60 points or 30% of your final project grade. Please post this to your group at Blackboard so that everybody can take a look at it should they choose to. So if you have questions, please indeed let me know. Please contact me, but otherwise, get busy. Bye-bye.